Hello, it's Haley,
And Riley.
and we are here to share some
Really real, really
realness
serious.
with you. Yeah, there's some stories that we've been holding back on, and just honestly, for the ladies, we just need to talk about this.
We're getting really real about vaginal health today.
We are, and you needed to hear it because we needed to hear it.
We needed
Nobody's
to hear
talking about it loud enough.
No, for real. And if anyone's going to say it, it's going to be us.
Mm-hmm.
So today specifically, we're going to focus on around stress and how that can affect your pH and your vaginal health.
And how it's not just the woo-woo-ness of everybody being like, girl, he's throwing you off. He's throwing you
It's
off.
real.
She's throwing you off. You're getting thrown off.
Mama is science.
No. No. Literally it is. Okay, so I knew, I'm just gonna give it to y'all already, okay? I was stressed out, down and bad about a man who Riley's not the biggest fan of, because why would you be if your bestie's stressed
And it's
out about
not
it?
just because of the vaginal problem.
No, it's okay. And so basically what happened was I am very in tune with my body, and I knew something was off, okay? I knew that things were just not right, and Riley would tell me, my friends would tell me it can literally throw off your pH, and I'm thinking can stress really do that? And it's girl, yes, the body keeps the score, it definitely will. Here's a great example of how this man stressed me out, okay? We had some issues in the past, and he swore it was never gonna happen again.
Shocker.
As they do. And so I said, okay. So I was there on a little bit before Valentine's Day weekend.
Mind you, this is a long distance relationship.
This is
You
a
gotta clear
long
that for
distance
context.
relationship.
Long
Yeah,
distance.
this
So
is long distance,
was
but we were
submissive.
together a lot. I was there half the month every month. So whenever I say I was flying in and out, it was every 8 days flying in and out. So long distance because of the flight, but as far as togetherness, we were together a lot.
And honestly, if we're being real, even aside from the long distance, aside from the actual problems of the relationship, being in a long distance relationship is already stressful as is.
Yeah,
If
and I
anything
think I
matters
just didn't
worse,
see the stress because
just-
it was only an hour flight. It was if it's gonna be long distance, it was best case scenario because we both
yeah.
worked for ourselves. We had our own thing, whatever. So, anyways, I was going there for a little bit before Valentine's Day. We've been together already for a year and a half ish, probably, and I got a feeling one night, as one does. And I went through I think it was his likes, and that profile was glowing. Whenever a profile glows and you're this is the one, this is the
you're scrolling
light.
through and all of a sudden one is just
It's shouting,
it's the profile.
he's in my coochie tonight, he's in my
No,
coochie tonight. That's what it was screaming at
I was
me.
about to say, it's the profile pic comes to life and almost becomes animated and is
No,
winks at
no, it
you.
winked at me, okay? So I did an embarrassing thing that a woman has to do sometimes. And she goes, hey, girly.
Quick question.
Do you know this man? And he didn't follow her or anything. And honestly, I'm just gonna say that, whenever someone cheats on you and it's a different caliber of a person, to where this person was way older, had multiple kids, and we were just not speaking the same language.
Not
I'm
on
sure
the
she
same
would.
level
And this is where I
whatsoever.
think it goes into not even girl code, it goes into woman code of if I tapped in and I said, hey, girly, what's going on? Because, this, a girl's girl would say, yo, he's been on my line. This is
Right.
weird. This person said, what I'm doing with him is not your business. Why would I even answer you? And I thought, I must have the wrong number. I have the wrong person, because a girl's girl would never do that. And I was like, okay, well, that is my boyfriend of, almost 2 years now. And I just wanted to reach out, but I think I'm tripping in that I have the wrong number. You carry on about your business. And I was like, well, this is embarrassing, but whatever. Not embarrassing enough to not screenshot her profile to him and say, hey, do you know this one as well? Because I just had to make sure it was them both being no. I will say her getting an attitude with me was a huge red flag,
Oh,
obviously.
absolutely,
And
yeah.
I probably my pH probably started to act up right then and there. I'll be honest.
That was stressful enough. Her denying the allegations, her giving you attitude when you were the other woman. Well, she was the other
Yeah,
woman.
she was the other woman.
When she was the other woman and giving you, the main woman of 2 years, attitude was enough to yeast infection on site.
Girl, this is nuts. Okay,
immediately.
so he said, I don't know this person at all. I'll block him if it makes you happy. And I was like, okay. Yes, do that. So he blocked her, whatever. And a few weeks go by, and now it is Valentine's Day weekend, and I'm flying in, and something about I think I had to leave right before Valentine's Day because his dad was coming into town or something, was off. He had a family something, and so it wasn't that big of a deal because we had spent Valentine's Days together before. It was just we'll celebrate it early, whatever, random day of the week anyways. I think I had work stuff, and so I fly in, and then I leave, and I'm kind of devastated that I'm not gonna be there for Valentine's Day because as any
Obviously.
girl would be, you know?
Right.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of devastated. I fly home, I get all the way home, and he texts me that day and he says, just letting you know, like, my dad's coming into town and I'm not really feeling good right now, so I think I'm gonna take like a really long nap. And I thought, I really wish I could go, I know you're not napping, I know you're lying to me, but that's crazy. Like, I have to believe that this man is taking a nap, you know? So I lay down to put myself to bed.
You're already
Because
right. You
I'm
gotta
already rocking back and forth being like, something's up. But honestly, I had low-key forgotten that I, like, sent that to that girl. I kind of thought, like, after we had just spent a great, like, few days together, and mind you, I sent that message 4 to 5 weeks prior to this. So, like, there was nothing, like, whenever I was
So you're
there.
thinking we're so back. Whatever,
I was thinking that we're so back, but there was still a pit in my stomach and my cat.
Meow.
And I was like, what is that, girl? What's going on? Talk to me. And so she was like, meow, 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 meow. And so, no, yeah, so I was sitting there and then I get a ding as I told him, like, okay, rest up. I literally think that I probably, like, DoorDashed him soup or something because we were in love. I was in love. We were in love, right? Right? And so I'm sitting there and I get a ding on my phone and it's that girl from 5 weeks ago. And it's a photo of her on the couch with him, like, and that he doesn't know she's taking a photo because she's strange. And she she takes the photo and it basically is like, bow, like, you didn't have anything on me. I was waiting till I got here to send it. And I was like, really dumb on your part because you don't know who runs the show. Well, who's about to? Clearly, I wasn't running anything. I was getting ran on.
Oh, so anyway.
And so I was like, wow, you're girl of the year for that, you know, enjoy it. Also, you're really dumb. You should have completed your stay with him before you sent this because your stay's about to really get a rude awakening.
It's over, mama.
I call him, I'm like, kick her out now. And guess who was on a flight and in his house in the next 4 hours? Me, because I'm not playing. You think I'm not going to get there? And so, needless to say, the pH was off, the mental was off, and that
your coochie
stress.
felt it before your brain felt it. The second
No,
that ding
seriously.
went up on your phone, your coochie said, what was that?
No. Dried up and said, what was that? Who was that? Get there now and fix it.
No, but that's genuinely real. So after that, you had, like, issues? Or?
I did have issues because before that, I had, like, a little bit of stress of every day feeling like something was off because I'm telling you, a woman's intuition, like, we just know. Also, yeah, afterwards, I was just, like, super stressed out because if it happens once, it's gonna happen again. And, did I continue things with him after that?
And at the cost of your vaginal health. So, interesting. No, but that's really real because I actually did research. I actually did some research on
Probably
how
because I was
stress-
texting her like, hey, is there any way that I can be thrown off? This sounds so crazy, but I feel like
Well, no,
something's
'cause
off.
It's at the point where it's like, it's one thing to tell your friend, your bestie, that your man isn't good for you, that your body's rejecting him. It's one thing for me to just say that, but she knows I hate him. So it's
I
kind
need
of
a
a
Mayo
biased
Clinic
opinion.
fact.
We need a scientific
No, yeah.
doctor's opinion.
No, seriously.
So I'm doing some research, and what I found was that the delicate balance of vaginal pH can be disrupted by various factors, obviously, but including stress. Because when we think about, like, being thrown off pH-wise, you always assume that it's, like, sweat or, like, you know, fragrance, highly fragrance
yeah.
items, whatever. Like, of course, there's so many things that can cause that, but you and I also are extremely sensitive, as is, and stress can just be enough to throw you off, which honestly is a nightmare, which is genuinely a nightmare, and, like, what am I to do? But it says when your stress hormones are elevated, it can potentially disrupt the natural acidity of the vagina, leading to imbalances in pH levels. This disturbance can contribute to discomfort, irritation, increased risk of infections. Now, this was actually very insightful for me to read as well, because one of the many things that you and I do relate about the most is our sensitive coochies. It's how sensitive, like anything could throw it off. Like, one time I used a pink bar soap instead of the regular unscented Dove bar soap, and she was over with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could
use
I
the one
could
that was
sneeze
like
wrong.
Scented roses, and you did not.
Allegedly. And I thought they were all the
Yeah.
same. It's Dove, whatever. It was pink instead of white, and it was so over for me.
Mhm.
And so, like, yeah, you could sneeze wrong, and all of a sudden, I got
That's
BV.
so true. I have this is so how sensitive I am. I can like wash my hair in the shower, and that shampoo can like go in that area, and I'm like, and it was like, what was that? Here's your punishment.
No,
Like,
that's also I'm gonna get back to the stress, but while we're talking about this, I have a friend that she uses like lavender scented soap on her body and obviously like a non-scented just for the sensitive parts. But me personally, I have to use an unscented Dove on everything because if I'm using scented everywhere else, if one sud, if one sud
it acts
makes
like I
its
put
way
my armpit in there.
inside and no, if one single little sud of lavender body wash gets anywhere near her, it's over with. And like I do suffer from chronic BV. Shout out chronic BV queens. It happens to the best of us, and it's most of the time not really my fault even. But I also looked up specifically can stress cause BV to make myself feel better, and the answer is yes. So it's really not my fault. Bacterial vaginosis, a common vaginal infection, is associated with an imbalance in the natural bacteria flora of the vagina. So this is why we take our vital source nutrition feminine balance gummies, because not only do they're meant to make the scent, the natural scent better, but they balance the pH and what does this say? The bacterial flora of the vagina. So like it balances the literal bacteria as well. It's not just one of those like little things that's like, oh, to make it smell like roses and butterflies. Like no,
It'll make it like
actually balancing your pH, which is helpful because it says, let's see. Stress makes it easier for harmful bacteria to thrive, and stress weakens the body's immune system, which is so interesting, which, like, you would think that's, like, duh, but you always think of, like, getting sick.
Yeah, I saw this
so
thing, it
stressed
was
out,
like,
you get
can a
sick,
yeast
but it's, like,
infection and a sniffle have something in common? And it's like, yeah, like, they do. It is, like, the immune system and stuff, which is also so funny because, like, did I stay after that? Yes, for a while, and I am really sad to admit it because guess what? I know my backshot air smelled like berries and cream.
Berries?
He did not believe.
Me when my backshot air smell like berries and cream.
Berries and cream in here? And I just made sure I got it really good before it was time. Yeah, and so, I mean, that's just true. I mean, your backshot wind, your walk-by air, it'll smell good.
When you hit them with one of these, you cross your legs, and it's like... And it's like
at Disney World how they pump out the scent to make you want
it's like
food.
the Febreze commercials where it shows like the air with the petals flying in it. That's what's going on.
No, it is like a commercial where you put it, you angle, you tell him to close his eyes, angle his face right there, tell him to close his eyes, and guess where we are at?
It's like
we're in a bakery, no
chapstick challenge, but it's like the sniffing candles thing in the store. You sniff the candles and guess what scent, and you're like sniffing, guess what scent, and he says berries and cream. He says berries and cream.
He says, "Is there a strawberry pie in front of me right now?"
Perhaps.
Well, yeah, if that's what you want to call her.
That's for dinner, girl. No, but the stress thing is real because not just your situation, but I've also been in a situation where, like, I've been in a relationship and I feel like my body's rejecting them, as in, like, I would constantly get yeast infections or BV, and it wouldn't even be after, like, sexual relations, because typically your first thought is that it's, like, because of hygiene or, like, dirty hands, dirty toys, whatever, and, like, that can obviously cause it. That's much easier. But being in a relationship where you're constantly in fight or flight, which we have both been in that position, I fear. Your fight or flight.
Literally in fight and flight at all times.
Being in fight and flight makes your coochie want to shrivel up and die. And also, like, it gets to a point where, like, the first, what is it? Like, your first solution is antibiotics. Okay, we've all been there. Antibiotics. I'm no doctor, but I've heard that it's not healthy for you to take antibiotics so often.
I also feel like for your, like, immune system, like, you know, like, and it does say that a weakened immune system.
Yeah, or I was going to say I believe it's if you consistently take antibiotics, you do become immune to them where they don't work anymore. So it's like,
so I feel like it's good to take something every day that's not so
and this is like
crazy.
A probiotic gummy, so it's something that prevents and also helps you as you go, keeps it balanced so that it doesn't throw off. But yeah, being in like a relationship where I've been in fight and flight, and like even outside of intercourse, I've had like thrown off pH, and I've just felt like, is it my problem?
Yeah, like I've low-key been celibate before and still been thrown off, and I know it's because of life stress. It's like
somebody stressing me. Somebody's daughter is and it's at the sake of
for real. And honestly, I'm sick of the like of everything else and like the boric acids. I'm so sick of that. Let me tell you why I'm sick of boric acid, okay? Because way back when I was getting ready doing my nightly routine, honestly, in the time of being so stressed out about probably a relationship or myself that I was like, something's off, you know? Like, I didn't have any, like, honestly, I had no crazy sense, no crazy, like, things, but you just know intuitively this is not how it should be.
If the discharge consistency is off
It can be
even
a
a little
slightest
bit,
thing,
yeah, you
yeah.
know it's coming, and you want to stop it before it gets to that
No,
point.
yeah, and so I was like, "Okay, gonna get ahead of this, obviously. I'm gonna do a boric acid and I'm gonna take, like, a yeast pill," you know? So I get out the shower, I get all my little
You
vitamins
did that
ready.
double whammy to make sure she
No, I
really
made sure
could. She
because
had no
that's how
fighting
bad it
chance.
was. Yeah, like, but whenever you're not using something like this every single day and you're just treating upon certain things guessing, what are you doing? Because what
And
was
then
I
also,
doing?
I feel like sometimes, again, I'm no doctor, but it just makes me feel like if I'm boric acid and a yeast pill just to make sure, and I'm not totally sure, then like it could throw you off worse.
I feel like
what
we're
if it
killing the
makes
good
you? I was about to
bacteria,
say, what
yeah.
if it kills the good bacteria and makes your pH so basic that I'm giving myself the opposite problem here?
Yeah.
And like this keeps your like acidity levels in check, like where they need
Yeah.
to be preventative before you have to do. But anyway,
Yeah,
boric
no,
acid,
literally.
we like this.
Yeah, so I like had my supplements and everything that I needed to treat my stress on the counter, and I like took everything and then I'm laying in bed and I go, "Oh my god." Because if you've done boric acid, you know it's a suppository. It goes in there, girl. It doesn't go in here. It goes in there. Wrong lips. So I was sitting in bed and I thought,
You ate it.
I ate it. I thought I ate it. I thought, oh my God, it looks like, you know, a different kind of vitamin. I ate a boric acid and I have 10 minutes of my life left.
Yeah, because mind you, like you're not supposed to ingest that.
No, it literally says on the package in all things, do not ingest, do not, do not, do not. And it's also called boric acid. I'm scared
Like
of that name.
doesn't sound like something that you should be snacking on.
That is so scary. So I look it up and I am like on the phone with poison control, gagging. Keep in mind, I don't know why my non-gag reflex or whatever was acting good that night because I couldn't throw up for the world. I probably had I had both hands down there and I was just like, do, girl, throw up. I could not throw up. I thought my countdown is now at 8 minutes. Poison control. Guess what? It didn't even ring the first time. I'm like, who plotted against me? And so if I wasn't stressed before,
Death by
boric acid,
bacterial vaginosis.
yeah, death by stress cooch, like really. And so I finally get them on the phone, and they go, "You're totally fine. You do not need to make yourself throw up. Just don't do it again, and have a lot of water." And I thought, okay, well, this was the scariest night of my life. Can't
And
go
you
to
know what's
sleep
the worst
now.
part about that is like that's fine and all, and thank God that like you weren't gonna die. Thank you God.
But why am I even taking something that if you ingest it, it can almost get you bad?
That, but on top of that, thank God nothing bad happened. But the stress of thinking you're about to die and like you had to call poison control, girl, you're gonna need another one the
I
next
think
day
I doubled
too.
it.
It's
Yeah,
like, yeah.
no, seriously. And
but-
so honestly, like finding something like this has changed my life because the boric acids are done. Like I don't need to accidentally be on
last
autopilot
resort.
and take.
Right, that's like the boric acid is last resort. But
Yeah.
personally, me, since I started taking these, I haven't had any problems where like I even will be scared, suspicious. Typically, I get thrown off right after my period as well, just because like my period itself will throw off my pH. That's how sensitive I am. But like this keeps it in check the whole time, even throughout my entire period. And I even noticed that like, you know, everyone has a period smell, and not that it's necessarily bad. I mean,
My period will throw off my balance like so
oh yeah,
fast.
but like even if you're healthy down there when you're on your period, like blood has a
It's
smell to it. It
different, yeah.
smells like pennies. It smells like
Yeah.
iron. And like even this, I ffeel like why do I feel like really like squeaky clean and fresh down
That's
there?
where
Even when
like,
I'm
the
actively
boric
bleeding
acid,
out of
the
there.
boric acid isn't going to make you taste.
That's just a
and smell
temporary
different. Like
fix.
this literally has like pineapple like powders in it where that is proven
does,
to have a
yeah.
different taste. Like
Yeah,
it's so
exactly.
different.
So like not only does it actually keep you healthy, but on top of that, you get the bonus benefits of it being like
Eat it
that
off
was
the
too
bone.
good off the bone, mama. No, but like speaking of the pineapple, I did also I wanted to look that up as well. I'm doing lots of research here right now,
Mhm.
okay? We're doing research. Let me see. I think I took a picture of this.
Because we have been on the hunt for like I would message her and be like, "Are you boric acid? Are you whatever?" And it's like since we've had these, it's like I think we probably text 10% less because I think 10% of our texting
No, we're
was
like-
about if we're thrown off from stress.
Are you also yeasting right now?
Yeah.
Yes or no, girl?
Are
Like
you making bread tonight?
Not
And we're not talking about
anymore.
sourdough.
not anymore, girl.
It was a kitty starter bad. Bad.
Meow 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 meow. So obviously pineapple itself is not gonna like make you taste like straight up pineapple juice,
Right.
that's ridiculous and dramatic. And honestly, you shouldn't. Like, that's a bit ridiculous for your coochie to taste like that down there.
Yeah.
But including pineapple as part of a balanced diet can still indirectly contribute to a healthy sex life. And then it says, so we were talking about stress and specifically how it like, what is it? It affects your immune system, like it lowers your immune system. What pineapple does, the nutritional value of pineapple includes better immune function, release inflammation, improves energy levels, blah, 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 blah. So, like, not only does the pineapple making you feel like you taste better and way more confident going into anyone going into there, but on top of that, it physically is, like, helping with preventing stress or the effects that stress does have on your immune system. So live, love that.
Literally, I
Majorly
thought
love
you
that.
live, love, bad. I thought you said
Live, love, bad.
But seriously, but also I will say, like, I am a workout girly, and we know that the workout leggings they're tight, okay, because we want them to be. And I will say that I do think that, like, not having some sort of something every day was kind of like, that was just another thing added to the list, right? Of,
You're
like,
playing a
if you're
dangerous
in,
game.
yeah, if I, like, go and have a workout, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get out of these clothes in the next 5 minutes, or it's gonna be bad.
That
Okay.
happens to me, like, if I go swimming at all, or even just tanning. Like, if I'm in a bikini and whether I'm sweating or swimming, if I am out of the pool and I sit in it for more than 30 seconds max, you're done for. I'm, like, fighting for my life. I'm scared because I know the next thing that's coming is a yeast infection.
Yeah. Like, if the coochie area is wet, not by these vitamins or not by arousal, you need to get out.
Exactly. And I'm gonna also be honest that because of my level of sensitivity, I've tried multiple different sort of probiotics because that is something you should be taking anyways, is any sort of probiotics. And I've tried so many different kinds, but none have actually, like, benefited me in the way that these have. I feel like all the other ones are not really getting the job done. They're not really preventing anything. It's like if I had a normal, not extremely sensitive vagina, sure, maybe it would do something, but like it's still so sensitive that
These literally gave me a virgin cooch.
my hymen grew back.
You want
So I also have a story. I was involved with a girl one time. Shocker. She always is, whatever. But it of course was a Virgo, and she was evil and vile and foul. And I had indeed same vibe as in, like, I was letting myself get dog walked. She did have me fighting for my life.
subtle shade to me. Same vibe.
I mean,
No, okay. We've been there. We've seen that film before.
So anyway, girl, I was letting myself get dog walked. There was one point in time where I went to Miss Girl's house to bring her flowers. She lived an hour away from me, mind you. She lived an hour away from me, and I'm just a sweetheart and I'm a lover. And I went to her house to surprise her with flowers because I'm a lover, and she wasn't feeling good one day. So I go there. And
It's always when they're not feeling good.
taking a nap. Not feeling good.
The ones that stress us out and throw us off aren't feeling good.
They're always acting like they're, like, really up to no good when they're up to the worst.
No,
Like,
literally.
I mean, they act like they're, like, completely innocent. I'm gonna nap. I don't feel good when they act like they're so like pitiful.
So if
when they're
anybody tells
actually,
you they're
like,
taking a nap,
if they ever say they're tired, they're cheating.
if they ever say they're tired and then the next week after you're thrown off, your pH is thrown off, they were not sleeping clean.
Honestly, avoidance stress me out and give me BV. So if you're avoidant, you give me BV. No longer though. Avoidance. I'm ready.
We have
I'm
room
on
now.
roll.
We're ready. Actually, we want to do a little
I
experiment.
consider it a challenge now.
That thing where it's like, I wasn't ready for you then, but I'm ready now.
No, literally, right. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Anyway, so this girl, I bring her flowers at her house. I surprise her. The point of a surprise is they don't know you're coming.
Right.
I surprise her, bring her flowers. I walk into her bedroom, full bouquet, big smile on my face. I'm so proud of myself. I walk in, and all I see right at first is her with her knees up in the bed, okay?
Okay.
And I'm walking in the doors like this way, and she's right here. And when I walk closer, I see behind her knees somebody tucked in right here.
Oof.
And when I tell you,
It wasn't the doctor because she was not feeling well. It wasn't a doctor.
it wasn't the doctor trying to see if she was dying or not. It was, well, it doesn't matter. It's not important, no.
It doesn't matter.
But I was fighting for my life. That was the worst day of my life. I stormed out, slammed the door, went to my car, cried, drove myself home.
Honestly, we don't
Drove
deserve
myself
this.
an
Like,
hour home.
drive an
straight
hour
cried.
away.
And you know what's the
hours
worst
to be
part
nice.
is that the stress of that threw me
you
off, and I didn't even get to that. We didn't even get to that point.
Mm.
All I got was stress out of it. That's all I got out of it. And not only that, but I was heartbroken, and so was my
Mm-hmm.
coochie.
And you know what? If you're not unfortunate enough to deal with these type of issues, you could even be stressing about fucking school, you know, and it can
Honestly.
throw off your like I've had things where it's not just, I know we talked about a lot about like situationships and relationships. Don't know why I
Everyday
screamed that,
stress.
but yeah.
Relationship.
Well, because I was like, how could that happen to me while I was in a long-term serious relationship?
Yeah.
I mean,
But
when
the
I realized
stress of
things.
everyday life.
Yeah.
I mean,
it could be work.
like being a mom, honestly. Like
Yeah.
being a mom, having kids, just being busy, like any sort of stress at all can compromise your immune system and not just make you sick, but her sick as well.
And honestly, there's a lot going on in the world, and that's like very much affecting everyone, like how you're thinking about it. Like
being alive these days is a lot more stressful, and that's
there's
why I
not
need that to make
there's
sure that
no
I'm
woman
not-
that will not like not benefit from taking this. Like there's
Exactly,
not even if you
There's
aren't
no cons
stressed,
to it, right,
guess
there's
what?
no
You could
cons.
still anything.
Like it's of course not just stress. We're just focusing on that today, but it's like
Just because you don't think, cause just because
even
I
if
honestly
you-
thought
even
that was
if
a myth.
you're not stressed, even if you've never experienced stress in your
She could be
entire
stressed.
lifetime, girl, you still wanted to be finger licking good, mama.
Right.
Like, period.
Okay, wait, I do want to read this really quick just because we've thrown this word around so many times and Riley kind of went into it, but like whenever you hear pH balance, it's like pH, like literally just sounds like are we in science class right now? And I never really knew like what that meant because it can be thrown off and not be like too acidic or too basic, and it's like where does it need to be? And it says the vagina has a natural pH level, which is a measure of how acidic or basic it is. A healthy vagina is slightly acidic with a pH around, and it gives the numbers, it's 3.8 to 4.5, and acidity helps bad bacteria fight things away. So basically, if you have good bacteria in there, it helps protect it, which is the whole point of why we're taking this.
probiotics.
Yeah.
They put the good bacteria there. They
Yes.
thrive for the good bacteria in your flora.
And I'll be honest,
Laura.
me and her, we're like this, okay? The reason why I knew I was off or wasn't off is because I will sit there and I'll just sit there after the shower, after every shower. Riley knows this about me. Guess what? I'm touching, I'm smelling. Guess what else I'm doing? I'm tasting.
Tasting.
And one night it was off, and I was like, I was
A
like
chef-
eating myself out in
a
my house, being
chef-
like, what's going on?
A chef must taste test his own meal.
And I've always said that, and I've always done that. And
They
so,
hate that we're real, and that's why we got to talk about this, because they hate that we're real. Because I know y'all be smelling and sniffing. You know when you
and
go
if
to
you're
sit
not
down-
tasting, add that to, honestly, at least one time taste yourself, then try these, and then do it
and
after.
then do it
Just-
again, right?
Yes.
Take these for a month, and then hit a little 3-finger combo.
Oh my god.
And let me know. No, but even if you're not being as bold as like hitting a Haley and like for real, like getting in there and like slurping it off the bone, no, you have to admit, all girls, I know you do this, and if you don't, I do, and I know it's real.
If you don't stop
When
lying, because you do.
When you sit down to go pee, it's right there. I'm a sniff, and if I don't have to sniff and I can smell something going on, I'm gonna be like,
We're in the danger
"Ooh,
zone.
We're in the danger zone.
Mhm.
We haven't had enough. That's what I'm saying. Well, not anymore. I haven't had that problem. Those days are over. And I have great news for everybody. Is that I'm gonna be. Hold on.
You got to run for president?
I need to gather myself.
I'm voting for you.
I have great news
Okay.
for myself and for herself and for you as well. I will be going to see a lovely lady next week, and so the next episode we've got, I'll be having a review that's not biased and not from myself. So we're getting the real outside opinions on this stuff. So that's how you know we're not lying.
That is good. That is good. Please report back to headquarters immediately.
And will. And I'm not gonna say anything either. I'm gonna just let her find out for herself and see if she says anything first, because that's how you know it's real.
Because by the time this is coming out, she would already have went. So if you thought, oh, she saw, no, you're wrong. This is a
It's true.
surprise.
Yeah. I'm gonna send her a what's it called, the Google
Like a form or whatever.
the
to
Google
fill out.
form to fill out. Yeah, rate it, how much, any notes, any reviews, the flavor. If you had to guess the pH, what would you guess?
Would you say it is
And then I'll be
closer
back.
to berries and cream or a fillet of fish? That's the one we need.
Fillet of fish. Where on the scale does it sit from 1 to 10? 1 being fillet of fish, 10 being pineapple surf daiquiri.
Ooh,
That's what I need to know.
that's good. That's real.
I want her to taste like a trip to Hawaii. I need her to be down there, and if she closes her eyes, she thinks that she's on the beach.
She is.
drinking a
Is this
pina
the
colada.
Bahamas?
Literally, she thinks she's in the Bahamas drinking a pina colada. And then she opens her eyes. It's just me, girl. It's just me and her, girl.
Oh my gosh, that's good. There's actually a lot of things that can throw you off that is not just stress. You can also get thrown off by douching, antibiotics, unprotected sex, or hormonal changes. And I think
Oh.
that that's really important because, like, as I'm in my now mid-20s, things are changing, okay? Things are not the same as whenever I was 17, 18, 19. And I think that talking about, like, hormonal changes is such a big thing because, like, I have an older sister, and even I was like, hey, I feel like things are different. And she's like, well, it's probably hormonal changes. Like, maybe you want to throw in, like, a supplement or a probiotic, and that's where this comes in perfectly.
You know, another thing is, like, the older you get, thankfully we're not at that point yet, but the older you get, she gets a little dried up down there. This helps with that, too. This helps with that, too. She's not just keeping you, like, healthy and tight.
When we said Bahamas, we meant, like, the water.
We meant, like,
in
the
the
water,
Bahamas,
too. Like, she was swimming in it. But no, you also said antibiotics, and that threw me back to, like, when we were talking about, okay, our old options used to be boric acid for, like, treating the symptom, like, a temporary fix, or antibiotics. And yes, we said that, like, overusing antibiotics can make you immune, but it's very true that antibiotics, like, it's very common to get yeast infections on antibiotics. So imagine you're trying to treat BV and you get BV antibiotics, and then it gives you a yeast infection.
That's so many
And then
women.
you have
My
to
best
take
friend, every time she
yeast
gets an
infection
antibiotic, her doctor also has got to give her a yeast thing.
common.
So yeah.
That's very common, and it's such a hassle, and that's so. And you know what? That's stressful. That's stressful, and that's annoying, and that's a burden.
Yeah.
Having to take one antibiotic to fix any infection or bacterial vaginosis or anything of any sort, but also having to know that she's about to have a nightmare to wake up to just because
when you could
your immune
literally
system
take
is
like
down.
a gummy that tastes so good every
2
single
gummies
day.
that taste like pineapple. They
Every
taste like
single
those
day and just
Welch's
keep
fruit
it like good.
gummies.
Oh my gosh, so good. And you could just take it every day and then you're good instead of like treating your body with something so harsh every like 3 months whenever you have an issue. Because honestly, that is how often I was having issues. I would say I could not get, if I made it past 2.5 months without an issue, I was like, we're doing good this month. A stressor came in my life, we're down bad again.
I used to feel like I had maybe 2 good weeks out of every single month that I felt like she was okay. She was just okay in her default, like, healthy position.
Now she's ready.
Because outside of that, it's like, okay, stressful relationship stressing me out. She's thrown off. I'm out of order for, 5 days, okay? And then on top of that, period. I'm on my period, which she's already out of order for 7 days, just about. And then once I get off of that, I have to prepare that she's not back in order yet because my
she's thrown
period
off from the
threw it
period.
off, right? Which is another hormonal thing. Is like the hormones of your period do get a little crazy sometimes. But now I don't have to worry about that at all. We get all the days of the month, even when I'm on my period. She's never out of order, mama.
Wow.
She stays out and about. So, ladies, if you want her to be healthy and fresh and delicious, you need to take them probiotics, girl. Take them Vital Source pineapple probiotics every day and night.
And if you have a man or a woman stressing you out and you're not ready to leave them yet, or maybe you are, either way, there's a little bit of stress. We know that. Take these, because at least your back shot win will be the best thing ever, and they will never forget about you.
They'll regret it.
Bye.